Hey, good morning, everybody. Pastor Larry. It's Tuesday, May the 4th. So glad you've joined me for devotion time today. And we'll just jump right in today. I don't want to take a long time with this. I don't really think I should have to take a long time with this one today. If you've been with me, followed me, been a part of my life in ministry, I think you probably know that this is one of those verses that I cling to, one of the ones that I hold to. We talk about the Beatitudes, but today, Matthew chapter 5, verse 9, I think this is one of the ones that really should really exemplify who we are. But I think it's also one of the ones that we need the most help with, especially in our current climate. But Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 9, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." They'll be called the sons of God, those that have the ability to make peace. I love the way the Message version says this particular scripture, Matthew 5:9, out of the Message translation. It says, "You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family." There was a survey done that said that there's a vast percentage of the American population, 80% of the American population, according to this Barna survey, said that they refer to themselves as Christian. Out of that 80%, 45% of those claim to be born again Christians. But then when you get down into the deeper details of the survey, you find out that 36% of the people who claim to be Christians believe that it is just a good idea. They call themselves, or they refer to themselves as notional Christians. They describe themselves as Christians, but their life bears very little fruit. If you look up the word notional, what you'll find out is it means not real, not actual. It's ideal or imaginary. And so when we talk about 36% of people who claim to be Christian, but yet believe that it's only a notional Christianity, what that means is there is a huge portion of people who say they're followers of Jesus who really, it's just imaginary, it's not real, it's not accurate, it's something that it's notional. They like the idea of it, it's a good notion, but they just haven't put it into practice. And I think that you can see that being borne out in the world that we live in, because there are so many people who profess to be followers who haven't yet learned how to show people how to cooperate and not compete and fight. We haven't learned how to be peacemakers. We continue to be part of the problem rather than being the solution for our world. We continue to add fuel to fires. We continue to allow our opinions, we continue to allow our feelings, we continue to allow our emotions to drive us. We continue to allow the differences between us and other people to be the things that are amplified. We continue to just find reasons to be divided rather than to find reasons and to find a way to cooperate with one another and not compete and not fight. And so I just think that there's something powerful about what Jesus said. Blessed are the peacemakers. Because listen, in Jesus' day, the Roman Empire, under Caesar Augustus, the Roman Empire had brought what is referred to as Pax Romana, Roman peace. They had brought peace to the area of the world they were in. But the peace they had brought was achieved through violence, and it was only a temporary peace. Because any peace achieved through violence has to be maintained by violence. It wasn't a peace that was going to be sustainable or lasting. That's why Jesus, when he got ready to go to the cross, which, by the way, the cross was an instrument that the Roman government used to bring their enemies under subjection, to torture and kill those that were the biggest enemies of the Roman Empire. They used the cross as a means of deterrence. They used the cross as a means of torture. They used the cross as a means of showing other people who were getting out of line, this is how we're going to keep you in line. And so for the Roman Empire, the cross was used as an instrument of violence to bring a temporary peace. But watch this. When Jesus came, he used the very thing that the Romans were using to create fear and to try to bring a temporary peace. He used the cross to bring an everlasting peace. Jesus took the instrument that Rome used as a method of fear and intimidation, and he said, I'll lay my life down on that. And the kind of peace they're trying to bring is not a peace that's lasting, but the peace that I will bring through my death on the cross is the kind of peace that I want the world to know. In fact, he told his disciples before he got ready to go, he said, my peace I give you, my peace I'll leave with you. Why would he be so emphatic about that? Because he was wanting them to see that his kingdom was going to be different than the kingdom of the Roman Empire or any other kingdom of the world. He was telling them they achieved temporary peace through subduing their enemies with violence. I'm going to subdue my enemies by forgiving. I'm going to subdue my enemies by loving them. I'm going to subdue my enemies by taking the very thing that Rome wants to use to crucify me, to make me an example. I'm going to turn around, and guess what? We no longer in Christianity or the world, we no longer view the cross as an instrument of torture. We view the cross as the place where God and man were reconciled together. Why? Because God has a different kind of peace. He said, I'll use the things that the enemy wants to use to destroy you, to bring peace to you. And then I want you as my followers to turn around and be peacemakers. Live out this kind of peacemaking in the world that you're a part of. So how about it today, Christ followers? Can we bring peace to our world by showing people how to cooperate rather than compete and fight? Maybe it should start with us as Christians. Maybe it should start with us as believers of the household of faith. We've got to learn how to get along. We've got to learn how to love one another. We've got to learn how to forgive one another. Because guess what? If I can't extend peace to those that I'm supposed to be in covenant with, how will I ever be able to make peace in a world around me that's going crazy and losing its mind? Jesus said, I'm giving you my peace. I'm leaving my peace with you. You're seeing how I'm doing it. The kind of peace that I want you to have is a peace that subdues enemies through forgiveness and through love. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are those who can show others through the peace that Christ gave and left how to cooperate rather than compete and fight. Come on. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead now lives in those of us who profess to be His followers. Let's follow Him in the way of peacemaking. Let's see a difference that we'll make in our world. Let's subdue our enemies, but let's subdue them with love. Let's subdue them with forgiveness. Let's lay down the violence. Let's lay down the hatred. Let's lay down all those things that only bring temporary peace. If we fight to get peace, we'll have to fight to keep peace. Jesus said, I give it to you. I'm leaving it with you. Take my peace. Go into the world. Be peacemakers and show people how to cooperate, forgive, and love rather than compete and fight. And you will find your place in the family of God. I hope you find your place today. I love you. Praying for you. Hope you have a great day. God bless you on this Tuesday.